Welcome to the LU Moment, where we showcase all the great events, activities, programs, and people right here at Lamar University. I'm Shelby Rodriguez, Public Affairs Manager here at LU. And guys, I want to welcome you back to this week's episode of the LU Moment. Now listen, guys, I have a very special guest with me today. I feel like I say that for everyone, but I don't know. I feel like all my guests are special, right? So joining me today, I have LUTV News student Khalaya. And so the really awesome thing that caught my eye about Khalaya is that she has a cool segment on LUTV News called Kulture with Khalaya. And so I wanted to bring her on to talk a little bit about her journey to LU, what she's doing with LUTV News and beyond. Khalaya, thank you for joining me on the LU Moment this week.
Thank you for having me.
Perfect. So listen, whenever I have a student on the show, I always ask this. I always ask, because I'm nosy, why did you choose Lamar University? You're a Houston native, right? Mm-hmm. So why did you choose to come to the Nest?
I knew you were going to ask me that question.
Yeah, how'd you know?
Okay, so I applied to, I wasn't that big of a scholar as a kid.
Yeah.
So I just applied to Lamar because I liked the program. My main thing was like looking for a radio station or just looking for a broadcasting program. Because not all schools actually offer that. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
So I just found Lamar and I applied and they accepted me. So I was like, I'm going here.
You were like, you're going, hey, this is it. This is it. So what do you think about the program so far? Because you're a senior. You'll be graduating in May.
No, I'm just kidding. The program was, it's been good to me. Needless to say. I will say that I've gotten the most experience from my junior and senior year just because I was able to finish my prerequisites, learning about mics, learning about sound, stuff like that. And then getting into this LUTV station where I could actually put the learning like physical form, so I can create content. I can go to events and kind of network, work with cameras, work with editing, work with audio, all that stuff. I'm more of a physical learner. So.
Yeah, hands-on. Yeah. And I think it's cool. Like you say, not every university offers a broadcasting program, but even if they do, not every university offers that hands-on experience, you know, of that you're going out. Because what I see from you all is that you're not just here on campus. A lot of times y'all are going out into the community, or y'all are pulling in stories, bringing guests into the station, alumni into the station. So all the cool things. But what I want to talk about for sure is Culture with Khalaya, that segment on LUTV News, something different. I don't think it's ever been done before. Why Culture with Khalaya? Tell me about that segment. What does that segment represent for you?
So it's actually Culture by Khalaya.
Culture by Khalaya.
And I was a little nervous to say that, but
it's
never. Culture by Khalaya. It's my first step, honestly, towards my path, towards my future, wherever life takes me. That's kind of how I feel about it. Yeah. It's not perfect. It's not exactly what I want to represent me. But like I said, it's the first step. Everybody has to start somewhere. And I'm really hoping that what I learn through this segment will take me and exponentially grow me to higher limits. So within every episode that I curate with new episodes, I always try to find a new element to incorporate. I don't come from Beaumont, so I don't really focus on the things that's going on outside. And then coming from the school that I went to in high school and coming to campus was a big culture shock. So I think what I try to emphasize through my show are the aspects of Lamar that I find interesting, I'm curious to learn more about. I feel like they need to be highlighted or importance or something, stuff along those lines. For my first episode, I focused on freshmen and kind of entering a new environment. My second episode, I focused on the deaf community on campus.
You did with Dr. Mann, Joseph Mann.
Yes, which was a very awesome experience. And then I tried to kind of like, other than the topics that I choose, I try to incorporate different editing to my shows or a different presentation to my show. Like for my first show, of course I had this big elaborate plan. Yeah. But Gordon's kind of like, we gotta start from somewhere, baby steps, whatever. Yeah. So I was just in front of a green screen, recording in the studio. Using some footage from last year when I shot stuff around campus. Something kind of basic to set the structure of my show. And now that I start to structure, now I can kind of explore the things that I are interested in.
Did you, when creating this segment or this show, did you kind of say, you know what, I want to kind of show culture? We're going to call it Culture by Khalaya. Or were you like, what's the name going to be?
Well, I knew that I wanted to do culture. And I actually had, the crazy thing is I actually had been thinking about creating a show before I even got to this point in my degree. So I was kind of playing with the alliteration of Khalaya with the K's, maybe something that could rhyme with my name or something that just really flows. And talking to Gordon about it, he's really good with alliteration and coming up with slogans. So he really helped me come up with Culture by Khalaya, which I thought was a little cheesy at first, don't get me wrong. But I had to take it and make it my own and brand it, so still learning that.
It seems like you have, and what I love about your segment is that you're not just showing it and, you know, pointing the camera and it's set up and we're just watching the movements. It almost seems like you're immersing yourself in to the culture itself, almost like it's a learning process for you too, because I've seen you show our fraternities and sororities stepping, and you know what I'm saying, they're throwing their signs up and they got the paraphernalia on, and that may be different to see for someone who may not have seen that before. They're like, what are these folks doing? They're just jumping around. No, this is Divine Nine. This is what they do. This is called, you know, strutting and strolling, and this is a part of their history and what they do. Jumping in with Dr. Joseph Mann and having his interpreter there, you know, I think that was something important to see on camera, because a lot of people might not think to bring someone on who is hearing impaired, or like, oh, they're gonna have an interpreter. I wonder how that would work, you know. And I'm sure everyone has that idea, but not everyone puts those ideas into play. Fruition. And so and so to see you like jump in and you're like and then to be yourself, especially with Dr. Mann, because you were asking him something and you were like, you know what I mean, and he's like,
and he did, and he's like,
what I meant. You know what I mean? It kind of shows like humanization, like the human side is like, okay, Dr. Mann is hearing impaired, but he's still a person. You know what I mean? He has brain farts, like we all have brain farts. So I thought that was really, really cool to see you kind of be yourself a little bit, and Dr. Mann be himself, and so to have that interaction. And so with this show, what are you hoping to showcase for the future?
Are you talking about where do I want to be in the future?
Let's manifest real quick.
Manifest. Big word. Well, I never thought that far. I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of thinking too far into the future makes me anxious, and I start to like overthink and get fearful or whatever, and anxious or whatever. So I kind of just think about what's for next semester. Next semester, I'm hoping that I can hear many more compliments such as yours from other students around me. I'm hoping that people could recognize me and the work that I do. And I'm actually glad that you said that, because the goal with my show is to immerse you into that culture. I want you to feel humanly connected to me. I want you to see that I'm growing through the episode in its entirety, from post-production to pre-production to post-production. And my main goal is that I want viewers to, I guess, like they're sitting in the room with me. Or they're sitting inside my head, or they get to experience what I'm basically trying to convey, I guess. So I guess my goal for the future is to have an honest, unprofessional show that people find educational and entertaining. And I like how you say educational, because it does teach you a little bit. You know what I mean? Like I said, if someone hasn't seen our fraternities do the things that they do, if they haven't seen someone who is hearing impaired or see an interpreter put into use, those kinds of things, I think that's important to show. And so I'm looking forward to what you're going to show for the show. Moving forward. And so let's talk a little bit about your passion in broadcasting. Where does that stem from? Have you always known this is what I want to do? Well, you know what's crazy? I actually came to Lamar seeking a broadcasting degree, but it wasn't in like media. It was more of radio, to be honest. So one time I was just sitting in the car with my dad, and I was thinking, dang, I'm a junior. in high school, senior in high school. Like, what do I really want to do? And I was just listening to the radio, and I like to talk. Listen, I like to talk. So I'm listening to the radio, and I'm like, this guy is getting paid to talk about music. I love music. He has guests on the show. I would love to meet a few celebrities, you know, once or twice. Yeah. And he's just getting paid to, like, delegate this space that people are using every day to go where they need to go. Yeah. So that kind of sparked my passion. I came to Lamar because I wanted to be a radio personality, which that's still part of my plans. Mm-hmm. But coming here, I found my passion in recording. Yeah. I really like the goal is to be a freelance videographer. Yeah. I really like being behind the camera, finding the angles, shooting a story, telling a story. That's really my passion in broadcasting. And of course, this is the first time I've done like a podcast. Yeah. I'm really excited though, because it's like, it brings me back to the whole reason why I got into this major. Yeah. So. Yeah. Now, no, we can't pay you. Right. No, it's okay. Pay me an experience. But no, this has been a fun interview so far, though. But yeah, you've always had that passion to say, all right, it seems like underlying, you've always had the passion to just say it how you mean it, be yourself, and convey that to other people. And you're like, look, I'm gonna get on this radio, or I'm gonna be behind the scene, and I'm gonna show you what it is through my eyes. Right. So I love that. Thanks. I love that. And so once you leave here, what's next for you? I like how you're asking all these questions I do not have answers to. And that's all right. That's okay if you don't have the answers, you know? Yeah. I think that the way that I see life is based on like personal experience. If I plan to a T what I want, it is not going to happen that way. Yeah. So I just kind of shoot for vague goals. Of course, like as I take the steps, of course I try to navigate and my path towards it. Yeah. But like I said, I have a goal of just being a freelance videographer. I don't know how I'm going to get there. Yeah. I don't know when I'm going to get there, but I know that I will get there. Yeah. So that's really what's keeping me going. So being a senior, what's been the most exciting thing that you've covered with LUTV Knows? Ooh. Or the most like memorable exciting? Where you're like, ooh, that was different. Honestly, I would say episode 2, POV, for sure. Working with the deaf community on campus was beautiful. Yeah. It was very, I can't even describe it to you. Yeah. I was just so comfortable. They were welcoming. I was curious. They were answering my questions. Like, yeah. Just excited as I was to like produce this content. So that, and then probably the moment that I figured out that I wanted to be behind the camera. Yeah. Now, I can't tell you what story I was shooting, but we kind of shoot packages where we kind of have to be an anchor or be in front of the camera or stuff like that, or interview people. And I would come back with just footage, and he's like, where's your interviews? Like, or where are you in front of the camera? I'm like, I don't want to do that. Yeah. Of course I had to do that if I wanted to be a well-rounded artist, and I still need to work on that. But ultimately, like, the editing is fun for me as well. Really? Yeah, editing can be sort of therapeutic, you know, methodical, and you're just kind of sitting there for hours and cutting and cutting and pasting, and it takes a certain I'm sure you know, but it takes a certain ear or a certain eye to really like sit there and edit. That's right. Because you have to be able to know what you want, and then you have to be able to, like, I'll give you an example, right? If I'm editing a package and I'm editing the audio and I hear like a little click in the background, and I'll look to my peers. I'm doing that now. I was like, okay. Right. And I'll look to my peers and I'm like, you see that, or do you hear them? They're like, no, it looks fine to me. But in my head, I can hear that. So I go back, I go edit, I do my cuts, do my face, whatever. And then that stuff actually makes a difference, because then they'll be like, I didn't know that. Like, the value of it, of the production, just goes up because you're paying attention to those little I guess nuances that you can kind of I guess so. Perfectionism, I would say. Khalaya, I'm definitely looking forward to what Kulture by Khalaya is going to produce, and I'm especially looking forward to what you will be doing once you graduate and leave. Thank you. Ultimately, I know that I'm not at my final form. That sounds so... No, it makes total sense, yeah. Yeah, but I'm hoping that through interviews with you.
Yeah.
And then just going to other events and just being on campus, I'm hoping that will help me evolve into the ideal artist that I will eventually become.
You ready for it?
Yes.
She's going to be ready for it. Khalaya, I want to thank you for joining me on the LU Moment this week.
Thank you.
This is Shelby Rodriguez, Public Affairs Manager here at LU, the pride of Southeast Texas, and I'll talk to you next time.